Unit 5. Listening 1. Activity C.
Today, we're going to talk to sociologist Margaret Brown about how families influence us. To do this, Ms. Brown will look at two situations that might help us understand this better. First, she will describe the experience of a man who was adopted as a child. What were his experiences? How was he different from his adoptive family?
Those are good questions. Here's a case that might give us some ideas. It comes from a book called Strangers in the Nest by David B. Cohen. Cohen writes about a man who was adopted as a baby. I don't know his name, but I call him Frank. Frank lived with his adoptive parents, brothers, and sisters for years and shared their experiences. But he said that he always felt that he was different, that in some ways he didn't fit in. Why? Well, for one thing, he didn't look like the other people in the family. He also liked to do different things. For example, he liked to fix electronic things. His adoptive parents, brothers, and sisters did not have any interest in electronics.
I know what you mean. I have several friends who are adopted, and some of them feel the same way. But others don't feel that way at all.
Yes, of course, each person is different. Anyway, in this case, Frank eventually met his biological family. He discovered that he had two brothers, and they were interested in electronics as well. Meeting his biological family helped him understand himself better. He no longer felt so different from everyone around him.
That's fascinating. Now, I know that Cohen also describes a case in which twins are separated at birth. They grow up in different families, and they don't know that they have a twin. What happens to them? Are they similar, or are they different when they grow up? And finally, the big questions. Are we born to act in certain ways? And how much do our families influence us?
Okay, let's take the questions about the twins first. Cohen discusses one of the most famous cases in his book. It involves two men, Jim Springer and Jim Lewis. They were twins, but they were adopted into different families at the age of 1 month. Neither man knew he had a twin. The twins met for the first time when they were 39.
I'm sure they were shocked to learn they had a twin. What did they learn about each other?
Well, they were very similar, both in the physical appearance that they inherited from their biological parents and their personalities. For example, they both liked math and making things out of wood. But there were even more amazing coincidences in their lives. They both married women named Betty. They both had pets named Toy. The list of small coincidences like these goes on and on.
That is amazing. I can understand that they looked alike and had similar personalities. But their wives and their pets had the same names? How can you explain that?
Well, we can't really. Maybe that was just a coincidence. Stories like these are interesting, but one story or even 10 stories isn't enough for good scientific evidence. However, in my view, these stories show that we are born with a tendency to have a certain personality. But in the end, our personalities probably come from a combination of biology and family influence.